The saga of Chrisean Rock and Blueface continues to captivate the public, with each new development adding layers to their tumultuous relationship. Recently, rumors circulated that Chrisean was pregnant again, but this time, reports suggest that the baby may not be Blueface's. According to insiders and online speculation, Chrisean is now romantically involved with NCAA athlete Titan Newton. She has even made moves that suggest she's finally putting her past with Blueface behind her, including beginning the process of removing the tattoo of his face from her cheek, a permanent mark of a toxic chapter she seems ready to close. This potential new chapter in Chrisean's life raises questions about her motivations and the dynamics of her relationship with Blueface. Despite the public's perception of their relationship as chaotic and unhealthy, Chrisean has often expressed a desire for stability and commitment. Her recent actions, such as attempting to move on and remove symbols of her past with Blueface, suggest a longing for a fresh start. However, her history of returning to Blueface, even after public breakups and emotional turmoil, complicates the narrative. The involvement of Titan Newton introduces a new element to the story. As an NCAA athlete, Titan represents a different world from the entertainment industry that Chrisean has been part of. His presence in her life could signify a shift towards a more grounded and private existence. Yet, the public nature of their relationship, marked by social media posts and public appearances, indicates that Chrisean's life remains under scrutiny. The process of removing a tattoo, particularly one as bold and personal as Blueface's face inked on Chrisean's body, is deeply symbolic. Tattoos often serve as more than just body art. They become permanent markers of our experiences, emotions, and relationships. For Chrisean, the tattoo of Blueface's face was not just a piece of artwork. It was a living testament to her tumultuous relationship with him. It was a public declaration of their bond, both the highs and the lows. In many ways, it functioned as a sign of devotion, an irreversible choice that solidified her connection to him in the eyes of the public. The tattoo was an outward representation of a relationship that has been constantly under the media's spotlight, and it was an emblem of the chaos and the intensity that defined their time together. But as Chrisean embarks on the process of removing the tattoo, it carries with it a weight of transformation. Tattoo removal, in a literal sense, is an attempt to erase what was once permanently inked into the skin, signaling a desire to leave the past behind. In her case, it could be seen as an effort to sever ties with the past and the emotional entanglements that have continuously defined her relationship with Blueface. Moving forward from something so ingrained in her identity is no easy feat. It's a bold statement of wanting to redefine herself, apart from the man whose face she had chosen to permanently carry with her. However, the act of removing a tattoo also does something interesting. It draws attention to the very history it seeks to eliminate. In trying to remove the image, Chrisean is not merely erasing the ink, but simultaneously confronting everything the tattoo symbolizes. The removal process is itself a reminder of the time, the love, the pain, and the cycles of reconciliation and conflict she has experienced with Blueface. While she may be attempting to let go of that chapter in her life, the very act of attempting to remove this significant symbol brings the past back into the present. It's as if by trying to erase it, the past becomes even more real, making the journey toward detachment all the more complicated. In a sense, the removal of this tattoo is emblematic of the internal struggle between wanting to move on and the reality that the past can never be fully erased. It's not as simple as removing the ink from her skin. It's about releasing emotional attachments and the complex layers of her relationship. It's a deeply personal endeavor that speaks to the difficulty of breaking free from something that, while painful, has also shaped a large part of her identity. Tattoo removal is often a process of reclaiming control over one's body and life. For Chrisean, it represents an attempt to take back power from a relationship that has often left her feeling trapped and controlled. It's an act of self-liberation, but one that requires both physical and emotional endurance. The fact that she is going through this process while continuing to be in the public eye shows just how much she is confronting both her past and her public image at the same time. By removing the tattoo, she is not only saying goodbye to Blueface, but also signaling a new chapter in her life, one where she hopes to move forward, free from the mark of the past. In the end, the tattoo's removal is not just about the ink. disappearing from her skin. It's about the act of self-empowerment, the challenge of shedding old identities, and the ongoing journey of healing and personal growth. It's a reminder that no matter how hard we try to move on, the past will always leave its traces, sometimes in the form of a tattoo, sometimes in the form of memories, and the journey to truly move past them is a long and complex one. This situation highlights the complexities of relationships in the public eye. The constant scrutiny and the blurred lines between personal life and public persona can make it challenging to navigate emotions and decisions. Chrisean's journey reflects the difficulties many face when trying to reconcile personal desires with external pressures. In conclusion, while Chrisean's potential pregnancy and relationship with Titan Newton suggest a desire for change, the public nature of her life and her history with Blueface make it uncertain whether this marks a true new beginning. The interplay between personal choices and public perception continues to shape her narrative, leaving the future of her relationship with Blueface and her own personal growth uncertain. Just when everyone thought she was ready to commit for good, bam, she popped out with a brand new man, and not just any man, Titan Newton, an NCAA athlete. Her going public with Titan stunned fans, especially since she'd just hinted she was locking things down with Blueface. As if to prove she's turning the page for real this time, she's even started the process of removing her face tattoo that was dedicated to him. On the surface, it looks like she's finally serious about moving on. But then again, we've all been here before. She said she was done with Blueface more times than we can count, yet somehow they always find their way back to each other. It's like watching a never-ending soap opera with no commercial breaks. Even after past flings, like her brief romance with Lil Mayu in 2023, she ran right back into Blueface's arms the moment he called. That fling with Mayu stirred up some serious drama. Blueface, clearly jealous, even tweeted sarcastically about them being the duo we didn't know we needed. Then came the song drop, Chrisean and Mayu teaming up to diss Blueface, with her lyrics throwing some real shade. Blueface, I had to bae, gave birth to my kid, but I hate his father. And yet, right after that, she ditched Mayu and jumped back into Blueface's life like nothing happened. But this time might be different. Word on the street is she's not just dating Titan. She might actually be pregnant with his child. Yes, that's the latest bombshell. While fans are still grappling with the news, many are questioning if she's really ready for baby number 2, especially after all the backlash she faced during her first pregnancy. Smoking, drinking, and accusations of neglect have haunted her ever since. Interestingly, Blueface's mom, Carissa, seems thrilled about this new chapter. She's never been Chrisean's biggest fan, so the idea of her moving on is like music to her ears. Meanwhile, Blueface, even though he's been behind bars for 8 months, is still stirring the pot. When he found out about Chrisean's new relationship, he told his dad to pack up her stuff and get it out of their house. And here's where things get even more chaotic. Despite being in prison, Blueface somehow managed to post a video to Instagram, featuring a mystery woman claiming they've been in a relationship for years, back when he was supposedly committed to others. The internet exploded, not just from the messy timeline, but because, seriously, how does someone that high profile get a phone behind bars? Contraband phones aren't exactly new in prison, but Blueface isn't exactly subtle. Posting a video like that was bound to raise red flags. But if we know anything about Blueface, it's that subtlety isn't in his vocabulary. He thrives on mess. Fans think he did it intentionally, just to make noise and stay relevant. With nothing but time on his hands in prison, he's clearly still playing puppet master, even from behind bars. To make matters even more bizarre, Chrisean and Blueface reportedly got married in jail not too long ago, but he's already flaunting a new woman. Yet the moment Chrisean reciprocates that same energy with Titan, he lashes out. Classic case of someone who can't handle their own medicine. His mom, Carissa, was quick to defend him after the whole throw her stuff out situation, claiming they were just respecting Chrisean's new relationship and that her son's dad recorded the clean out to avoid being accused of anything shady. But let's not forget, Carissa has never liked Chrisean, so it's not surprising she'd take her son's side. Fans, on the other hand, aren't mourning this breakup. The relationship has long been viewed as toxic. Adding a child into the mix only escalated things. From pressuring Chrisean to end her pregnancy to being cruel toward her and their baby, Blueface hasn't exactly earned sympathy. Even his other baby mama, Jaden, had her say, mocking the situation and bringing up past drama. When people came, for her, she doubled down, saying Blueface never doubted her ability to parent, unlike with Chrisean. She recalled her own experience giving birth, appreciating Blueface for showing up, but also made it clear she's done playing supportive partner to someone who consistently does her wrong. The drama between the women escalated further when Jaden criticized Chrisean for marrying Blueface, questioning how anyone could tie the knot with someone who doesn't support his own children. Chrisean clapped back, claiming she married for love and criticizing Jaden for being more concerned about their shared man than the well-being of their kids. Chrisean also pointed fingers at Carissa, accusing her of using her grandson for attention and driving a wedge between Blueface and his children. She argued that Carissa's involvement was more about control than care, and that if Jaden really wanted peace, she'd stop relying on someone who had already proven toxic. Resentment can cloud your vision, making it hard to see why you're not reaching out to your own kids. But let's be real, jail isn't some vacation spot. It's a nightmare. While I don't agree with how things have played out with our children's father, or the way he's handled his responsibilities, I need you to understand that you don't have to carry the burden of his choices. I'm done going back and forth about him. If you're upset with him, that's on you. Just leave me out of it. This constant back and forth is exhausting. Remember when Blueface wrote that diss track aimed at me? That's where you crossed the line. Trying to hurt someone out of spite never works. When I made Mr. Take Your B, every word was directed at him, not you. But honestly, even that wasn't the move. Reacting to hurt with more hurt never heals anything. Holding on to that beef? It's childish, and our kids are the ones who have to live with the fallout. I was young when all this started, 20, 23, so I didn't fully understand the impact of my actions back then. But now, this back and forth feels ridiculous. It's not funny anymore. It's just weird. Now, this might seem surprising coming from Chrisean, considering everyone expected her to blow up after Jaden's public shade. But she didn't react the way people thought she would. Still, Jaden wasn't holding back in her response. She quickly shot back, "Chrisean, I wouldn't even bother reading all that, even if you paid me. For the love of God, just shut up. I can't stand someone who runs their mouth about me, then acts all confused when I respond. Please, just go live your life and stop acting like you're innocent when you've been throwing my name around nonstop." Chrisean's calm response to Jaden's public shade was certainly unexpected, especially considering the intense and often dramatic nature of their past exchanges. Everyone thought she would lash out, retaliate with the same level of fire that Jaden had shown. After all, the history between these two has been anything but quiet. Their online back and forths have fueled heated moments, with both women often getting tangled up in a web of insults and accusations. So when Jaden took a jab at Chrisean, many anticipated a similar eruption from her. But instead, Chrisean chose a different path, one of restraint and silence, which caught everyone off guard. This shift in Chrisean's response might suggest growth or a shift in perspective, as though she was no longer willing to engage in the petty drama that had once dominated her life. Whether it was out of frustration with the constant cycle of conflict, or simply a desire to focus on her own life and peace, Chrisean's restraint in this instance seemed like an attempt to break free from the exhausting pattern of public feuds. In a way, it reflected a deeper understanding of the toll these endless back and forths take on one's emotional well-being. By not reacting as expected, she seemed to be signaling that she was moving beyond the games and tired of the toxic back and forth that had been so common in her life. However, Jaden wasn't about to let this moment pass without a fight. True to form, she wasted no time firing back at Chrisean. Jaden's response was direct, cutting, and filled with anger. She made it clear that she wasn't interested in hearing any more from Chrisean, dismissing her entire message with a sharp remark. "Chrisean, I wouldn't even bother reading all that, even if you paid me," Jaden declared, clearly frustrated and fed up. Her message was laced with irritation, and it showed she was done playing nice or engaging in any more verbal sparring. She accused Chrisean of stirring up drama by constantly bringing her name into the conversation, and told her to stop pretending to be innocent when she had been fueling the fire all along. The harsh tone of Jaden's response suggested that while Chrisean may have been taking the high road, Jaden wasn't interested in walking away from the conflict anytime soon. Jaden's message underscored a sense of frustration and exhaustion with the entire situation. It revealed that for her, the drama had reached its breaking point, and she was no longer willing to engage in the back and forth without calling out Chrisean for her role in it. It was a sharp reminder that, despite Chrisean's attempt to step back, the cycle of tension and conflict still had the power to draw them both back in.